Fish and Chums!
Hi everybody, old Gare here at the fishing shack with my buddy Tuffy. Hey Tuffy, how you doing? He knows we're getting ready to go fishing after we cut this show, so he's a little anxious. Hey, welcome to Fishing Chums Fishing Report, the first week of August. Can you believe that? Wow, got some good reports. Walleye fishing at Table Rock, you bet. Some nice walleye being caught out there the last few days. Bass fishing's good. Out at Taneycomo, a little tip for you. The hatchery just released a bunch of real quality, bigger than average size trout into Lake Taneycomo. And Bull Shoals out in the K-Dock area, we have reports of pretty good walleye fishing. Some crappie being caught out there, and the bass fishing's good. And we have a report out at Stockton Lake. Some walleye, limits of walleye are being caught there. Hey, how about Truman? My gosh, the largemouth bass fishing has been good out there. They've been picking up whites and hybrids. They've been picking up walleye. They've been picking up some big blue cat. They've been picking a lot of crappie up. Boy, that Truman's just an unbelievable lake. So we've got a lot to talk about on Fishing Chums Fishing Report. How about that, buddy? All right, let's go out to Table Rock. I've been fishing out there the last few days, and the walleye fishing's good. I tell you what, they've been picking up some fish on a variety of baits. Trolling crankbaits, picking up some fish on spoons. They've been picking up some fish on drop shots with night crawlers. They've been picking up some fish, just all kinds of different methods. So let's get started with the walleye fishing at Table Rock. It seems like the White River. I love to fish the White River this time of the year, and I'm fishing a couple different patterns. I'll find some fish with my electronics from one point to another point, just kind of going back and forth on the drop-offs, trolling. I tell you, a good bait right now to use at Table Rock would be that flicker shad or the flicker minnow. I like the flicker minnow a little bit better. This particular bait will get down around 18 feet of water. And if I need to go a little bit deeper, I'll put a weight up above it to get it down deep. Some of these fish that I've been catching have been anywhere from about 18 feet to 28 feet of water. And then you want to try the long gravel runouts, the points and the runouts. You can troll over these runouts, or you can use spoons. Spoons, some people bottom bouncers with night crawlers, but I tell you, spoons have been good. And another little secret I'll give you, fish this bait for many years. This is called a Little George. It's a tail spinner bait. Remember that? My old friend Tom Mann designed this many years ago. He named the Little George after the governor of Alabama, George Wallace. And I tell you what, this bait still catches fish today. You don't see many people use it, but I tell you, if the walleye or bass a little finicky, pitch that out, let it fall down, pick that rod tip up, jerk it, and let this thing fall down with that spinner spinning. Hey, that will catch fish. Walleye love the Little George just like bass. But spoons have been working good. Bottom bouncers with night crawlers, trolling, flicker shads or flicker minnows. Walleye fishing's good at Table Rock right now. Had a friend up a couple days ago off Point 12 in the James River, picked up 3 nice walleye. You know how that point comes way out and drops off? He was right on the drop off. And look at my buddy Barry Jenkins, Mountain Dew. Seen him yesterday on Table Rock. Had a nice visit with him. Great old friend. And he caught this fish, this walleye, by trolling a crankbait. I said, Mountain Dew, let me see that crankbait you caught that on. He said, oh no, if I showed it to you, I'd have to kill you. He's very secretive. But he has a special bait that really catches some good walleye for him, trolling. So, gosh, Table Rock looks good for the upcoming weekend. Bass fishing, you know, it's been good. When the sun gets up, go out on the long gravel points. They're kind of moving back to the points a little bit. They were off from them, more on the hilltops and flats. But right now, they're going back to the points, and look at the hilltops, look at the flats. Use your electronics. You find some shad activity down there, anywhere from 18 to 25 to 30, 35 feet of water. Fish it with your drop shots. And another good tip, try your drop shot, use a natural colored plastic worm, about 4 inches. Just like a night crawler colored or earthworm colored, and they're biting that good. Plum's been good as well. So drop shot fishing continues to be good at Table Rock. And I tell you, the brown jigs with your favorite trailer will work good too off the points, secondary points. And I had a buddy picked up some nice fish by fishing the shaded docks with a football jig. So brown seems to be good with kind of a crawdad color trailer, and hey, looks like Table Rock could be good this weekend for walleye and bass. Some topwater action out there slowed down. It's a little sporadic, but always have a topwater bait at your fingertips because you never know. Okay, Lake Taneycomo, you went down, buddy? Okay. He's ready to go fishing. He's awful excited. Okay, at Taneycomo, they've been picking up some fish out there, and as I mentioned, the hatchery just the other day, earlier in the week, released a whole bunch of real above-average trout in Lake Taneycomo. So some of the people have been catching these. You can catch them on a variety bait. They're not running much water in the morning hours, so what you need to do is go to 2 or 4 pound test ultralight little jigs. I talk about it here on the program all the time. Little 32nd ounce jigs. May even have to go to a 64th ounce, but I like the 32nd ounce. And the brown, the olive green, and the cinnamon. Any of these colors will work. And another little tip, if you're out on Taneycomo and they're not hitting that jig real good, just tear off a piece of a Berkeley Power egg in your favorite color, like orange is working good right now. Just put a little piece of orange on that small hook. That can make the difference between night and day. So jig fishing, small jig fishing at Taneycomo is good. And when they're running a little bit of water, it seems like your best baits have been your power eggs in the orange or the white or the combination of both. Some people have been using that power worm, the Berkeley trout worm in the pink with a float up above it. And spoons have been working, and they've been picking up some fish on jerk baits. And so a variety of baits are working on Taneycomo right now. They just put a nice stockage of fish in there. Could be good, should be good for the upcoming weekend. By the way, not running too much water in the morning, as I mentioned, more late morning, early afternoon. So go to those small jigs. That will work. Okay, let's go out to Bull Shoals up in the K-Dock area. I've had good reports this last week, the last few days. They're catching topwater bass in the morning hours. Seems like junior spooks are working a little bit better. Some people are getting way up early in the morning and using buzz baits, bouncing it off stumps and treetops. That's been working. And of course, they've been picking up a few fish on whopper ploppers as well. Pop-Rs have been working out there in the morning hours as well. Late evening sometimes as well. Okay, then when the sun gets up, I tell you what, get out there with those ledges off the bluff ends, off the long runouts. Use your, like I mentioned on last week, Ned rigs have been working real good. Drop shots have been working at Bull Shoals. Spoon fishing, some people have been spoon fishing out there at bass for bass as well. Okay, walleye, I've had good reports of walleye being caught throughout the lake. I know the other day, recently, there's been some nice walleye caught in the K-Dock area. Look at Norman here. Norman was out a couple days ago and caught this nice walleye in the K-Dock area. Good going, Norman. Nice fish, nice fish. And they have been using a variety of baits. Again, trolling, deep diving crankbaits like the whopper plopper, or excuse me, well, I got whopper plopper. I don't know why that name gets me all the time. The flicker minnow has been working out there real good. And sometimes they're spooning for walleye at Bull Shoals. Other times they're using bottom bouncers and night crawlers. And so K-Dock area looks good. Up in the mid-lake area on some of the flats. And they've been picking up some fish in that Oakland area, more closer to the dam. So walleye fishing is pretty good out at Bull Shoals. Crappie fishing in the K-Dock area. I've had good reports this week. Some of the boys that know those brush piles have been going out in about 15, 18, 20 feet of water using a minnow. Seemed to be a little bit better. Using minnows right on top of the brush piles or down on the side of it. Sometimes you may want to try like a little 16th ounce jig head. Give it a little bit of color. Go a chartreuse or a hot pink. Then hook that that minnow. Get right on top of those brush piles. You catch some real nice crappie. Let's go out at Stockton Lake. They're catching some fish out there. Some people are having a little bit of hard time with the bluebird weather we've been having this week. Other people are catching fish. They've been using drop shots and night crawlers off the points and flats anywhere from 12, 14, 18, 22 feet of water. Other people have been trolling flicker minnows on the edge of the flats and on top of the flats catching walleye at Stockton. So don't overlook some trolling, some deep diving baits for walleye. And like I said, other people are just using bottom bouncers and night crawlers. And another thing at Stockton, there's been some surfacing white bass in the morning and more so in the evening, late evening hours. That's always a lot of fun. Crappie fishing spotty. We've had different reports. Other people are having a real hard time. Other people are getting into the flats and finding the brush pile, picking up some fish. Now let's go over at Truman Lake. My golly, there's been a lot of fish caught out there this week. All variety of fish. You know, if you want to go largemouth, we don't talk about the largemouth fishing at Truman very often. We should, because, boy, Truman's a great largemouth bass fishing lake. They've been using 10-inch plastic worms in the brush piles and around some of the tree trunks. And they've been using some square-billed crankbaits in about 12 feet of water, bouncing them off some tree limbs and so forth. Look this over. Bass fishing looks good at Truman. White bass fishing have been surfacing out there in the morning hours and evening hours in that KK Island area. Check this out. You never know when they're going to come up, so have an extra rod with a grub or some kind of a bait when they are surfacing. You'll have a lot of fun with that. And the hybrid fishing's been good, still good at Truman, and off the humps and off some of the points. And it seems like, boy, if you can catch some small perch, just get out in the morning hour, go to the shoreline, pick up some small perch, hook that on a bigger hook and go hybrid fishing. You'll have a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to catch. Walleye fishing's been good at Truman this weekend. Boy, they're having a banner year on walleye this year at Truman. They've been picking them, had some reports again a few days ago, Berry Bend, the KK Island, off any points and flats, try it. Some people are using bottom bouncers with night crawlers. Other people are trolling. Other people are just using some spoons out there picking up walleye. In fact, look at Steve. He was out a couple days ago at Truman and picked up this really nice walleye. Hey, I tell you what, walleye fishing at Truman looks good for the upcoming weekend. Yeah, a lot of fun to catch and a lot of fun to eat. So try some walleye fishing at Truman. All right, the crappie fishing, I've had mixed reports. A couple of my reporters said that's been a little bit tough the last few days. Other people are saying we're getting limits. And they're getting out on the flats in 12, 14, 16, 18 feet of water, getting around the brush piles on the flats. Some people are fishing the tree rows. Other people are getting in the cedar trees. But some people are catching their limits. A real nice crappie out there. And it seems like minnows are better than jigs. But another thing that I would say, just like I mentioned on Bull Shoals, get yourself like a 16th ounce jig head, pink or a fluorescent chartreuse. Tip it with a minnow, get right down in those brush piles, you're going to catch fish. That fluorescent colored pink or chartreuse will kind of give it a little bit of color, and they'll come and investigate, and with that minnow, it's irresistible. So crappie fishing looks good for the upcoming weekend at Truman. Okay, how about a big cat? Brian Vickers was out the other day, and he had his daughter just 2 days ago drifting some bait. I think it was a perch or perch or either shad, and his young daughter caught this 36-pound blue cat. Wow, what a fish. Good going, young lady. God bless you. On rod and reel. Man, that's really good. One other quick picture talking about bass fishing at Truman, or no matter where. Take your girlfriend fishing. Look what Tony Cruz was out the other day with his beautiful girlfriend. Look at this bass that she caught. Wow. Hey, Tony, hang on to this young lady. She's beautiful and she can really fish. Good going. Okay, wrapping things up. Lake of the Ozarks, same thing. They're picking up some fish in the summer pattern. The crappie are off the drop-offs in the brush piles, 15 to 20 feet of water, and around some of the shaded docks. Out at Norfolk, they're picking up walleye. Slowed down a little bit. They're picking up some fish on the edge of the flats, on night crawlers, bottom bouncers, and spoons. And picking up an occasional nice striper out there, too, in deep water. That's our report for the day. I want to thank you very much for being with us today. I tell you what, just get out this weekend, enjoy this beautiful weather, especially in the morning hours, late evening hours. It's just been beautiful out there. Be sure to like and share our program. We really appreciate it. If you have any friends that like this show, because we talk about all lakes, we talk all types of different fishing, turn them on to our program. And be sure to subscribe. Just push that subscribe, because it doesn't cost anything, and then you'll never miss one of our shows. And if you have any photos or any information you'd like to share with us, go to our email. Email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. Going to be a good weekend this next couple of days. Get out and get bit. God bless you. Happy outdoors, everyone.